Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
What was seen blazing across the United States last night just so happened to be seen in 4 different states. There are hundreds of residents in the DC area alone that heard and saw the same exact thing that I saw last night, but yet no local police departments have anything to say about it. And apparently whatever crashed just so happened to crash specifically around Annapolis. Apparently, rumor has it that parts of a satellite were falling across the sky overnight. I don't know how much I should believe that, especially considering how I feel about satellites and space in itself. But see, here's the thing, right? Now I'm starting to get DMs from people that are saying that there's multiple crash sites. I drove all over Washington, D.C. today just to try to find the area of which I thought it might have landed at, and apparently there were a lot of them seen overnight. And when I say a lot of them, I mean like 20 of them. I mean, I've had thousands of DMs today telling me about their own experiences of seeing these things blaze through the sky. Now, I don't know how many people are lying because, you would think at least 1 or 2 people would have some type of video, right? But every single one of these reports are ranging from 8 p.m. the night before to 4 a.m. the morning after. So that makes me believe that there were numerous objects that fell out of the sky, which would make sense. I tagged a specific guy below because apparently he's the only one on TikTok that just so happens to have a video. Now, it's not really a video, you could just see the streak going across the sky, but that's exactly what I saw, but the object coming across the sky, leaving a streak. But there's also one that's from a woman's Ring doorbell, right? That happened at 3:20 a.m., right? And she lives in the Washington, D.C. area as well, which is exactly when I just so happened to see that object blazing across the sky. And there's another video with a guy that lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it has him talking about how he saw the object blazing across the sky, but that was around 3 a.m. And then I have a ton of people in Ohio that are saying that they saw the object blaze across the sky around midnight to 2 a.m. So I really don't know what to believe. My mind's in a spiral. I've done all the investigative work I could possibly do today. Who knows? What I do know, though, is that the people would probably be the last to know. I just know what I definitely saw, and that was one of the biggest objects I've ever seen falling from the sky.
I'm just curious on this one to know what y'all think this was. I've seen this thing all over TikTok this morning, but I haven't heard any news reports talking about it. If this were an actual crash, you would think that there would be footage of the crash site, or at the very least, a report on where it landed. Does anybody have any more information about this?
They're trying to silence them for accidentally exposing the Fountain of Youth on live TV. Please watch this clip before it's too late.
People are gonna think she's a crazy person.
How are you? I'm tired. I am here in the doctor's office, and what we are about to do is the nurse is going to put in an IV, and it's called NAD.
I think that doing like NAD multiple days in a row is fine. I'm gonna NAD for the rest of my life, and I'm never gonna age.
They revealed that they supplement their bodies with NAD, which is something your body naturally produces but loses as you get older. And if you've never heard of it, I did some more research and this is what I found out.
It's a really important molecule. But as we get older, we lose NAD. So by the time you're 50, like I almost am, you have about half the levels of what you had when you were 20. So that's not good. So what NMN does, and this other molecule called NR, which both you can get on the internet, they boost the body's levels of NAD back up to youthful levels again.
So in that clip, he talks about how supplementing your body with NAD can actually have some benefits. NAD can have a huge impact on the body and the mind. That's because NAD is something that your body produces to convert the foods you eat into energy for your cells. And studies have shown that as you get older, your body's natural NAD levels drop drastically, which can cause this saggy chin, these jiggly arms, and these...
Well, that sucks. I guess you got to be a celebrity to get access to that stuff. Not that I'd trust it anyways, but it'd be nice to have the option. I think pretty soon we're going to figure out how to make the human body last much longer. They say that the first person who's going to live forever has already been born. Now, I don't know that I believe that we're that close to figuring out anti-aging yet, but we've got to be getting close. We've already learned what causes the body to age and start falling apart. Now we just need to figure out how to combat it. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this type of content, I post a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me. Also, don't forget to check out the website at www.barry-stepp.com. You can order yourself a shirt, a hat, or a hoodie.
Have you guys ever heard of Rock City? It's, I've heard of a little bit about it, but it's way bigger than what I actually saw. Check it out.
Hey, I'm delivering here. into these caves. Look what the sign says. 5 million square feet available. Is I'm dreaming? 5 million square feet under here? Hey, I'm in the cave, man. I'm actually delivering pizza crust. I'm actually delivering pizza crust, weighs only 15,000 pounds, light as hell. I'm about 40 miles from the house.
Somebody needs to compile a list of all these underground bunkers so we know where to find all the pizza crust when the apocalypse hits. Now, I can't help but wonder if they're ordering thousands of pounds of pizza crust to go into that cave system. According to the internet, that stuff only has a 3-day shelf life in a refrigerator or a 3-month shelf life in a freezer. So I doubt they're storing that stuff for prep. What are they using 15,000 pounds of pizza crust for? That doesn't make any sense at all. Unless, of course, they're feeding something down there that needs a lot of calories.
I had to become a Freemason because you can't get involved in Satanism on the hardcore level without first being a Freemason. That was my official shrine portrait, which they took as part of my initiation. I was ready to become involved in hardcore Satanism. What did that mean? Well, that meant I had to sell my soul to the devil. I had to sign my name on the contract in blood. I had to sign my name in the black book. You gotta understand something. The satanic doctrine here is that hell is not what we believe it is, or what the Bible teaches it is. The satanic doctrine is that hell is this incredible party. It's like a nonstop, all-eternity orgy. So you're smoking dope, you're fornicating your brains out, you're listening to rock and roll through all eternity. And it's party hardy time. And before I could get onto the priesthood of Satanism, excuse me, I had to get 7 people to sell our souls to the devil. The other thing I had to do, and this might astonish some of you, is I had to become a Catholic priest. I had to go back to my original vocation, because you cannot be a satanic priest unless, first of all, you're a Catholic priest. And if that surprises you, I just suggest that you go and you read some of the medieval literature. You'll see that that is in fact the case.
This is the first that I'm hearing of this, that you have to be a Catholic priest before you can become a priest in Satanism. It would not surprise me, though. Just consider how many bad actors make it into the priesthood. It certainly seems to attract the wrong type of person. It's just not outside the realm of possibility to me that some of these Catholic priests that have done illegal things with children would be able to easily make a lateral shift into Satanism. If you're doing stuff like that, you've already sold your soul to the devil anyways.
So here I am in Oregon, working on some windows for that house, but I seen at the end of the cul-de-sac these gates down here. Dang it, they got a bunch of dogs. Look at that gate. Okay, so I was working at a house up the road a little bit when I looked down this direction, and I seen these pyramids, many pyramids, and then this gate, 17700. What is this? Where does this go? More little mini pyramids. Wow. Holy moly, do you guys see that? They have signs, we do not call 911. I don't know what to feel about this place. But dude, guys, look through here. You guys see that statue? I am so creeped out by this place. What is that? Wow. I'm gonna have to look this place up. Huh. Sheesh, what a cool gate. And people live here. Wow. How awesome.
Yeah, that looks like he just stumbled into an area he needs to get away from. That place looks like a dark church ground or something. I was looking in the comments section of this video whenever I downloaded the clip, and a lot of people were saying that that statue is of a deity that's supposed to be the keeper of the underworld. My bad memory will not allow me to recall the name of the deity, but a couple other commenters said that they were actually aware of this place, and what it was is some sort of a satanic cult clubhouse. I think I'd be getting the hell out of there.
Had a heart attack today, or had stroke level high blood pressure, and you called an ambulance. You know what the first thing there is they're going to inject inside of you when you get in the ambulance and they take you to the hospital? Without ever talking to a doctor, they're going to inject you with saline. You know what saline is? 9,000 milligrams of salt in that bag of water. And if you have extremely high blood pressure at stroke level, do you know they do 2 of those bags in what they call a push? They will push 18,000 milligrams of salt inside your body, and guess what happens? Your blood pressure starts coming down. Your kidneys are what release water out of the body. The kidneys operate with what are called sodium-potassium pumps. What's another word for sodium? Salt. All right, so you have salt potassium pumps that are required in your kidneys to pump out water. What happens is when we start depriving ourselves of salt, because the world tells us to eat less salt, and our doctors all tell us to eat less salt, need a low sodium diet, our kidneys don't get the salt they need, and we will start retaining water. And as we retain water, there's now increased pressure on our blood vessels, and guess what the majority of Americans are put on? Diuretics like Lasix to make you pee. Do you know what Lasix is? It's patented salt. This is your diuretics. So they want you to swallow their prescription salt in a tablet form. They don't want you eating it in your food. It's one of the greatest lies in medicine. If you had a heart attack today or had stroke level high blood pressure and you called an ambulance, you know,
this makes perfect sense. They tell you to stay away from salt, and then they give you a salt pill to increase your salt when you start having side effects from not enough salt. I had no idea, though, that diuretics were basically just salt pills. I feel like that should be common knowledge. And if that's really the case, why are we not at least given the option to just increase our salt consumption when it comes time for us to need diuretics? I had high blood pressure and high cholesterol when I was 29 years old. I never took a pill for it. I'm 41 now, and it's perfect. I fixed it by adjusting my diet. I feel like most people don't even take that option into consideration when it comes to stuff like this. And then you just end up with a lot of people on a lot of pills that they don't necessarily need.
Jonathan Howard, who is a guardsman from Florida, and you might recognize him because he's been on Fox News quite a bit the last couple days, went on a podcast with the Sean Ryan Show to talk about Kamala Harris's response to the hurricane. And you gotta hear what this dude's got to say.
I started getting a lot of messages to my Instagram from actual aircraft commanders, squadron commanders. No kidding. I had a squadron commander from North Carolina reach out to me. They had to load a C-17 full of supplies just to take a photo op for Kamala, and they never sent the bird. Wait a minute, what? They loaded an entire C-17 full of supplies for the hurricane victims just for Kamala to go there, take a photo, take a video, and they never sent the C-17. It was just a full. Yeah, that was a National Guard, North Carolina National Guard unit. That was a 06 that reached out to me. And then I had another.
He reached out to you to tell you that they did a photo op and with the intention of never sending.
Never sending. It was just a photo op.
Now, I haven't listened to this entire interview yet. I'm a big Sean Ryan fan, so I'll probably listen to it tomorrow because apparently this guy goes into really deep about how the administration had responded to the hurricane and the needs of the citizens in North Carolina. I made a video earlier today that didn't go anywhere on TikTok, and so it's on X. You can go grab it there. The link is in my bio. Talking about how it's really hard to know who's telling the truth and who's not anymore. Because we used to get our news from the news, right? Your MSNBC, your Fox, everybody. Now it's so hard to decipher who is telling the truth and who is not telling the truth and who is putting a spin on things. What happened with North Carolina and Georgia and Florida, it's kind of like the epitome of that. My heart tells me to believe the people on the ground, to believe the tweets, to believe the TikToks and the videos from the people in their demolished home. My head tells me about FEMA and the Red Cross and how, historically they've been kind of useless when it came to natural disasters, like media and the establishment and the governors and the presidents, and everybody's out here trying to tell us that they're all doing this wonderful job and they're sending aid, and no, $750 is just a quick payment. They're gonna get more. I think I believe the people, right? I know that people do things for clicks, likes, and shares, and they rage bait, and but I think in this circumstance, and there was so much of it, like so many different perspectives of people who weren't getting help, who still aren't getting help, that I'm going to lean towards the people on this, probably once again. Bad. Like, this is bad. This should be a campaign ender for Kamala Harris. Scandal of the season, but really nobody's talking about it yet. And so it's kind of, it's up to you guys, it's up to us to kind of get it to trend. The Hodgkins twins are sharing it. Like, this should be a campaign ending thing for Kamala Harris. I guess we'll see what happens, but god dang.
In my opinion, you believe the people on the ground, not the people sitting behind a news desk reading what someone else wrote on a teleprompter. The media is all saying the same thing, but the people who are actually living through this experience are all saying something wildly different. I'm going to side with the people who are actually there on the ground, who are posting video evidence of FEMA's incompetence. And in regards to this being a campaign-ending response from Kamala Harris, it should be a career-ending response. When your public servants are no longer serving the public, it's time to replace them with someone who will get the job done.
First thing we see here is an array of cameras that listen to you and watch you. These are the facial recognition systems. Now, cities are starting to be set up where they have points of entry for regions within cities. And you have to use your iPhone device to beep your way in. And the pad on the top there shows your face. It's facial recognition. So it opens the doors and things like that for you if it matches your face or if you don't have any problems. But if you are wanted by the police or something, these will lock you in so you can't move from region to region. Or if you use too much carbon. As you can see, this woman takes off her glasses, and that little device that looks like an iPhone, but it's actually a retina scanner or a facial scanner, picks up your face, and then it'll let you through. And then here's an example of how that works. You're at the gate here, it scanned his face, and then there you go, it opens the gate. Now, within the cities, they're blocked off by region, and these fences right here separate those areas. There's police, as you can see in front, that monitor and guard these areas between points. So if I'm over here where this guy is, like region 1, region 2 is over here, right? But I have to go through a checkpoint. Now, of course, the police officers have these glasses that are facial recognition glasses. So it'll read license plates, and when you see somebody right here, it'll recognize the face and pull up their information. And so a cop can just sit there and look at a population and determine if they're good, bad, have warrants against the government, blah, 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 just like this officer's doing. Now, of course, this is where a camera can identify you by your gait or by the way you walk. This determines how a person walks, and they can set up a profile based on the way you move and walk with your facial recognition, meaning you can be watched at all points. So this guy right here, I'll spare you the details, but basically what it is he's reading this, and he can't travel on high-speed rail because his credit score, his social credit score is so low. So what he had to do is volunteer and do a bunch of other to raise his social credit score. So he was going to take a trip that would take 3 hours on a high-speed rail, but because his social credit score was too low, he had to take a bus, which took 10 hours. But then coming up here, he donated and did charity work, and now he says at the end he can live like a real person. And then here's footage of the grocery store in Canada. They've put these cameras, these facial recognition cameras, in the grocery store to determine what you're buying and if it's good for the environment or not, as far as I can tell.
This sounds absolutely horrifying to me. I can't believe there are actually people that are living like this today, and that the end goal is to get this everywhere. And the craziest part is there are people all over TikTok and social media platforms who are super excited about this. Daddy government's going to put us in 15-minute cities and take care of all of our needs. This literally sounds like the start of the Hunger Games.
While rushing to the scene of an accident, a first responder driving along the North Saskatchewan River in Alberta, Canada captures a Bigfoot on his camera. The responder, upon noticing the creature standing next to a tree, speeds up to escape out of sheer fear, but bravely continues on his journey to save the person in need. Watch this.
This reminds me of this stupid game that I used to play as a teenager with my brother, where one year we got a four-wheeler for Christmas, and we were raised on this massive farm that was no longer being farmed. And we would drive our four-wheeler at night to the furthest part of the property, turn our headlights off, and then drive back at full speed, just with nothing but moonlight, pretending like something was chasing after us. I imagine that this dude had a similar feeling whenever he passed this Bigfoot. I haven't thought about that in probably 20 years. I just thought it was interesting that memory came flooding back, seeing this guy pass a Bigfoot on a four-wheeler. Now, that video is too blurry to be able to make a determination on whether or not this was a Bigfoot, but there's certainly something there, and the guy doesn't seem like he expects it to be there. He keeps turning and looking back multiple times as he's passing it, and it looks like he speeds up once he passes. So whatever it was startled him and probably scared him.
The video you are about to see was recorded by security cameras. A truck driver apparently did not realize that he was not alone. His boss realized that a woman was in his cabin when inspecting the cabin cameras of all the drivers. Along with other staff back at base, they all witnessed the apparition scaring them to the core. The video explains it better.
¿Que te dejaron la cámara? No, dicen que el vato salió de ahí de Marinela, Monterrey, de una línea que se llama Star. La verdad no sé para dónde iba, pero dicen que hay video, nada más que me lo manden, ahí se lo mando. Bueno, dicen que fue como a las 2 o 3 de la mañana, que no le creían, que pensaban que el vato andaba bien drogado porque se salió en una recta, hasta que checaron la cámara y ya se dieron cuenta que se le había subido la señora muertita, que traía ropa como de los años 80 y sí, en la foto se le mira.
So is this, the ghost of a woman in that truck. Is she somehow attached to the truck? Maybe the vehicle was the reason she passed away. Could it be she's attached to him? When the driver saw the footage when he returned to base, he was horrified and took 2 weeks off work due to mental health issues.
My first thought on this was that the guy picked up a friend of the road and was just trying to pass it off like a ghost to keep from losing his job. I don't really know what to make of this video. It doesn't look like an apparition to me. There's nothing opaque or see-through about this lady. It just looks like a woman sitting in the passenger seat with poorly done makeup who appears to be going through some sort of withdrawals. I really don't know what to make of it. What are y'all's thoughts?
I let my kids believe in whatever the hell they want to believe in, as long as they're happy and it's not hurting them or hurting someone else.
Christina Long sorts through her kids' bag.
Got some pencils and we got a sticker.
New school supplies from her kids, a new group. The After School Satan Club.
Did your kids have fun today? Oh yeah, they had a blast. They can't wait for the next one.
It's sponsored by the Satanic Temple. The After School program is popping up around the nation and in many schools that also give space to Christian groups. In Ohio, there's 3. Lebanon, Eaton, and now Wilmington.
What the hell? This is why I don't think we should be allowing any religion into schools. I feel like religion is one subject that should be left up to the parents. And unfortunately, you're going to have people out there like this lady who have no business raising kids. What are her offspring going to contribute to society? Probably nothing but chaos. However, if you let one religion into the school, you have to open the door for other religions in order to give them fair representation as well, in order to avoid discrimination accusations. So it's better to just leave this stuff completely out of the school system and let the parents take care of it in the home. I personally feel like if you put any religion into schools, eventually this is going to be unavoidable just because of the way our system is set up.
I think we should stop trying to manipulate the weather.
I would say so.
Did you hear what scientists are doing in Canada?
What?
A team of scientists from the UK are currently trying to figure out how to refreeze the ocean because they're saying that all the ice in the Arctic will melt away in 10 to 20 years, which will cause
global flooding.
Flooding. The weather will just be crazy. Crazy storms, crazy cold winters. But they're like, oh, it's not geoengineering or weather manipulation. It's called geomimicry. So it's like we're just creating something that nature has already created before.
Got it.
It's like, I would call that manipulation.
Yeah.
Cloud seeding is the same concept.
Yeah, you could say that about
done that.
You could say that about cloning.
Just because it did exist doesn't mean I want it to exist again. You know what I mean? Like, you want a T-Rex in your backyard?
Kinda.
But you know something that'll be really cool to see is what it's like underneath.
Yeah.
Because it was a jungle at one point, they speculate.
This is the Arctic up top.
I don't know the difference.
Antarctic, bottom.
Which one was a jungle? Bottom?
Bottom.
Bottom.
What's up top?
Arctic.
Where are all the mysteries?
Both.
I don't believe this for a second. When the wealthy elites start selling off their beachfront property that's supposed to be underwater in 10 years, I'll start listening to what they've got to say. Until then, in one ear, out the other. They keep making these wild claims about climate change that never come true. You can go back 50 years and look, they were making predictions in 10 years this is going to happen, in 20 years this is going to happen. 30 years later, they're still making predictions for what's going to happen in 10 years, and none of the original predictions came true. I can't help but look at it as they're trying to fix a problem that's not a problem. And I'm worried that eventually, if they keep playing with the weather, they're either going to freeze us all to death or create the next global extinction event. I just hope that somebody with some common sense puts a stop to all this stuff before it gets out of control. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out www.barry-stepp.com if you'd like to order yourself a shirt or a hat or a hoodie. It helps me support the channel, and I tremendously appreciate anyone who's ordered anything off of there. Also, don't forget to post your photos of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo and a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone's having a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.